Welcome to Learning Unit number 4. In Learning Unit number 4, we're going to go over mentoring, modeling, and also storytelling as we learn more about resilience building. So in her New York Times piece, How to Build Resilient Kids Even After a Loss, Sheryl Sandberg shares the encouraging news that resilience, which we know leads to better health, greater happiness, and more success, is not a fixed personality trait. We're not born with a set amount of it. Instead, it is a muscle that we can build. And that's what we're doing in this course, is building our resilience muscle, both with heart rate variability biofeedback, 3 good things, and also experiencing storytelling and mentoring and modeling. So stories, both sharing our own perception of experiences, as well as, and most importantly, I think, listening to those of others, are at the heart of working this muscle. So by the end, you're going to be able to use storytelling as a mechanism to engage stakeholders and to drive change. You're going to be able to compare and contrast the concepts of role model and mentor. We're going to be able to discuss how the concept of service relates to resiliency in nursing. And you're going to be developing a plan to complete your resilience praxis assignment by focusing on the selection of an interview partner and interview questions. So it's actually page 13. I thought I had changed this. Of your syllabus is the resilience praxis assignment. And we're going to go over that. Now, it is not due this learning unit. It's not due at the end of this learning unit. We're just starting. We're just being introduced to this. So it is due at the end of learning unit 6. So what are you going to do? You're going to do a few things, starting by watching this video. And as every week, you're going to be completing your 3 good things journal for Unit 4. You're going to complete your heart rate variability biofeedback practice for Unit 4. Then we're going to start with, and you're going to do that within this folder, just as you did last week, and we'll do for future. Then we're going to start with the podcast by Rose Sherman, and it's Learning to Listen. And I think this is a great start because, with her other podcasts, it's usually short, but really I liked this one. It was one of my favorites of hers. So Learning to Listen is a good start. And then we're going to, you don't have to click anything. This is what you're reading right here. It's by Eric Greitens. He had written a book, Resilience, Hard-Won Wisdom for Living a Better Life. So I want you to read what he says about models. So that's what you're just reading right here. And then, because remember in our outcomes, you're going to be able to compare and contrast models and then mentors. And this is one of my favorite readings about mentors. He uses an analogy. So that's what you're going to read. Again, it's just the citation is here and a picture of the book. So that's your readings, part of your readings. Dave Isay, this is the founder of StoryCorps. And he's doing a TED Talk about everyone around you has a story that the world needs to hear. So it's a good TED Talk, but as well, we will be using StoryCorps. So I want to introduce you to the founder and his goals and why it was set up. The next reading is, again, by my favorite author, Dr. Rachel Naomi Raymond. And it says it's a chapter, but it's a very brief reading on belonging. And it comes from her book, My Grandfather's Blessings. So as you read about this, as you read this brief chapter, think about the concept of service and how service relates to resiliency in nursing. You're going to be using that reading. You're going to be talking about that reading, this specific reading in your discussion board post. And then because StoryCorps is a way of interviewing someone and listening to their story, you're going to watch this brief video again from StoryCorps, and you don't have to subscribe. This is a free opportunity for you. I don't know why subscribe keeps popping up, but best practices for conducting an interview, and a short but a good video. Now for discussion board 4, you're going to read again the Rachel Naomi Raymond short chapter on belonging, and you're going to answer that question. How does the concept of service, as defined by this author, relate to resilience in nursing? And then you're going to do 2 other things that are relatively quick. You're going to share who's going to be your interview partner. Who are you going to interview for StoryCorps? And and I ask 2 questions, please. What are 2 questions that you may ask your interview partner? Again, see page 13 of the syllabus, and no replies are due this week to your classmates. So therefore, your discussion board is not due until Sunday evening. This then is the folder that you will have your information about this resilience praxis assignment, which again is due at the end of Unit 6. This is Unit 4, but we're being introduced to it, and we're kind of starting it together so that you know exactly what to anticipate for the completion, because that is the bigger assignment for this course. Because you're doing a discussion board every week, because you're doing the learning assignments every week, because you're doing your heart rate variability, biofeedback, and your 3 good things practice every week, that's a lot of work. So there's only one assignment in addition to that, and that's regarding storytelling through StoryCorps, your interview. There will be the final course reflection, but this is really it. So we'll go over this in just a second, but please note Easter break is coming up, and so that's why this learning unit is extended, because Easter break is kind of embedded within. So I want to make sure you have time for Easter break as well as completing this work. So let's look at the folder on StoryCorps. Now, you'll find this in the tab called Assignments, and this is the link to the StoryCorps app, and you're going to be downloading this to do your interview. So to start, this is the best thing to start, is getting started with the StoryCorps app. This is a 1-page kind of guideline that's really helpful, I believe. And then you're going to watch a short little video on using the StoryCorps app. So that's 2 minutes. This is a 1-page, but this is information for you so that when you download the StoryCorps app, you are aware of how to go about this assignment. If you are using the StoryCorps app, that means you're going to be interviewing somebody that you're sitting next to. I mean, you're in the same room with them. If you decide to interview someone from a distance, then you're not going to use the StoryCorps app, you're going to use the StoryCorps Connect. So this is if you're going to interview someone remotely. It's a different program than the StoryCorps app. So if you're interested in trying this out, you most definitely can. So the instructions and the connection the link is here. So let's end by looking at what is the resilience praxis assignment. So we've heard twice already that it's not due until Unit 6, but this is going to really demonstrate your ability to translate the field of study on resilience and well-being into action. You're applying this. Specifically, you're reflecting on the information that you have learned during this course And you apply this knowledge by conducting an interview using the StoryCorps app. Through self-application, this skill is developed, and it's going to allow you to really more deeply listen and expand upon the skill within nursing. So each student is going to prepare for record, and then share their StoryCorps interview file directly with myself, and your other classmates are going to have an opportunity to listen to your StoryCorps app or your StoryCorps interview as well. So you're downloading the app by creating a free account. You're reviewing the information that we've been learning. You're selecting an interview partner. Who's going to be your interview partner? I ask that you select someone you perceive to be a resilient nurse, someone who has a joyful nursing practice, a meaningful practice, who has found ways to move through hardship to become stronger, wiser, more courageous, or more compassionate. So you're going to ask verbal permission to interview, and you're going to ask permission of your interviewee to share this interview privately with classmates and professors only. You do not have to share it on StoryCorps. If you and your interviewee want to put it on StoryCorps, you could be, there's a way that they can contact you if they want to use that on the radio. But right now, I just ask that you ask your interviewer or interviewee that, and let them know and get their permission to share your interview with them and with your classmates of this course, not future courses, and myself as the professor. So you're going to choose a quiet place. Please choose a quiet place. We've had a few in the past that have had, noise pop up that nobody planned on. But, if you have pets, maybe they should be in a different room, or ask someone to, assure that they stay a little bit quieter. You're going to schedule with your interviewee a time and place. You're going to follow the StoryCorps prompts and record a 15-minute minimum, 45-minute maximum interview. I recommend that you do stick around 15 minutes, but you're going to have, some time perhaps that your interviewee is going to really share their story. And maybe you have additional questions, so you're going over 15 minutes. You're going to have to kind of wait and see, but you're going to have enough questions to engage your interviewee. And that's not always easy. So this is it's fun, but yet you learn. I'll tell you, you'll learn. And you're also going to make sure you take a selfie of you and your partner following the interview, and then you can complete the summary with keywords. And then please make sure you're able to share that file directly with me, that you look at how to do that on StoryCorps. So that's the information, and your Dropbox as well, where to put it. So that's the end of this learning unit. Enjoy your Easter break.